Hey guys, tonight we're diving into the not-so-glamorous world of Victorian servitude. Picture this. It's late. You're in your coziest pajamas, the kind with little hedgehogs or stars printed on them, and the sound of gentle rain is playing like a soft lullaby outside. A candle flickers nearby, casting dancing shadows across your walls. And maybe there's a sleepy dog curled in the corner, dreaming of chasing his tail. We're about to overturn the fluffy duvet of history and take a peep at why being a servant back then was less Downton Abbey glam and more like your worst Monday alarm, times 10. You probably won't survive this without feeling a deep appreciation for modern amenities. Before you get too comfy, feel free to tap like or subscribe, but only if you're genuinely enjoying the calm around here. Tell me where you're listening from and what time it is over there. I love seeing how far this sleepy little journey reaches. Now, go ahead and lower the lights. Maybe let a fan hum in the background, and let's drift gently into tonight's story together. You wake up before the sun, bleary-eyed and wrapped in the kind of sleepy confusion that makes you question your life choices. You've set alarms for days like consecutive snooze buttons. The room is chilly, as crisp as the first bite of fall. You begrudgingly step out of bed and into a world where luxury and comfort are not reserved for you, but for those upstairs. As a servant in Victorian England, you'll find tasks multiplying like that pile of laundry you swore you'd tackle. As the stillness of the morning envelops you, you shake off the last shreds of sleep and dawdle your way toward your modest workstation. Honestly, if brewing tea for the household doesn't wake you up, nothing will. It's a bit like scrolling through memes to jumpstart your brain. But instead, you're handling hot kettles and tea leaves. The smell of freshly brewed tea is your only comfort amid the unyielding list of duties. You're basically the 19th century version of a smartphone assistant. Here's a fun historical fact. Did you know the typical Victorian house could have up to 7 servants? That's a lot of people coordinating tasks without the safety net of a group chat or emoji expressions. Walking into the kitchen feels like entering the set of a period drama, only without a script or the assurance that someone will yell "cut" if you drop the roast. As you move methodically, historians still argue whether servants were more like family members or just cogs in the sprawling Victorian machine. Either way, you could really use a LOL moment to lighten the mood. You won't believe this, but despite their grueling schedules, some servants found time to keep diaries. Talk about a Victorian version of a daily vlog, a poignant mix of complaints, observations, and secret hopes, showcasing a world we can only speculate about. This makes you think about your own digital diary. You know, that social media profile you rarely post on anymore. As you fumble with half-awake fingers to prepare breakfast, laughter bubbles up amid sleepy stumbles. Like how you managed to make overcooked eggs toast's best friend. Seriously, it's moments like these that remind you the life of a servant was packed full of unexpected, warming incidents, even if those instances were hidden under layers of soot and routine. Victorian households sometimes hosted grand breakfasts, but it's your labor that brings it all together. Picture waffles and bacon transformed into kippers and porridge, a switch not quite as exciting but meaningful in its time. As the day begins and the grand house stirs to life, the peacefulness fades. Your secret longing for a quick swipe through on TikTok or a YouTube binge rises, but it's just another bucket of dreams tossed into the well of impossibility. In Victorian mornings, there's little room for idle thought. Funny enough, if you're craving a Chuck Taylor moment or pondering the debates about the inefficiency of open office plans, then you'd find the tight corridors of downstairs life a reflective echo chamber. Let's be honest, even the clumsiest interaction could spark an understated theater of its own, filled with faux pas and faux plans. Your tasks are vast, from drafting the day's menu to quietly enduring the familial dramas unfolding around you. Sure, you didn't choose the servant life, but the servant life, filled with clinking cutlery and whispering aprons, chose you. Every day, you walk into that hearth of duties, just like people willingly walk into endless meetings that could have been emails. Gently, a sense of camaraderie builds among your team of weary workers, the kind that says, "We will survive this," without addressing it out loud, like the unparalleled joy of hidden chocolate. As breakfast concludes, and the sun spills its warmth over polished silver and your recently served teas, you can't help but pause, taking a brief, stolen moment to reflect. There's beauty in your diligence, a quiet pride that nudges you through the day, even as you dust off the stories that rarely ink their way onto pages. It's your silent rebellion against time, against status, and perhaps against the Victorian air, thick with more than just London's notorious pea soup fog. Now, what's next, you ask? Oh, only the never-ending parade of chores, like wiping clean the roots of history itself. As the morning sun gently creeps through the windows, spilling golden light across the dusty floors, you find yourself elbow deep in the task of prep. Like a chef without the glamorous kitchen flares or TikTok cooking montages. Breakfast might be over, but the day's demands have only just begun as you move seamlessly from room to room. Imagine every step resonating like the opening notes of a piano concerto, setting the stage for the never-ending drama of cleanliness and maintenance. Now, let's talk about cleaning those massive fireplaces, a task as daunting as a Monday morning meeting with no agenda. The fireplaces in a Victorian home aren't just for decoration. They're pretty much central heating, laptops, and your entire Netflix subscription rolled into one. Making them presentable is your responsibility, and you're no stranger to the soot-dusted dance of sweeping ashes. Honestly, it's like spring cleaning crossed with a treasure hunt. Only instead of stumbling across hidden coins or forgotten love letters, you're met with half-burned bits of logs and the occasional stubborn flue that just needs venting. Did you know that in some Victorian households, chimney sweeps were actually children? Yep, kids just small enough to be sent shimmying up the chimney stacks. It sounds as bizarre and unsettling as using a landline in a world of smartphones. What a world indeed, where the smallest among you have the most onerous tasks. Now, fireplace cleaning isn't easy, more like watching cleaning hacks videos, but never mastering the trick, all while aspiring for that Pinterest-perfect level of tidy. Historians still argue whether the soot from these ever-smoldering hearths contributed to the smog that notoriously blanketed Victorian London. It's a debate with as many layers as the grit beneath your fingertips. You won't believe this, but stories were told of women cloaking their white laundry in black starch to fake cleanliness rather than battle the ash-stained truth of their lives. It's kind of like stuffing your wardrobe to make it seem like you folded all your clothes, but instead, they're just artfully jammed behind closed doors. As you sweep the last remnants into your dustbin, your mind drifts to a modern comparison. Binge watching a season of a series you've seen a million times, finding something new in each glance. each sweep. Details pop out like uninvited guests demanding attention. And not all of them are exactly welcome or immediate fan favorites, with fireplaces now as clean as they've been since the last time you scrubbed them, you move on. And here's a quirky side note. Some folks believed in guarding their fireplaces with ribbons or herbs to prevent spirits from slipping down the chimneys. It's the kind of superstition that makes you chuckle softly, like texting LOL when you're actually just mildly amused. You take a moment, brushing the coolness from your fingers while the air thickens with the scent of ash. You settle comfortably into your thoughts, like bumping into an old friend. The house stretches, and you embrace the quiet, an unnoticed, nonchalant offering in the symphony of your day. As you step back to admire your freshly cleaned fireplace, the glow of triumph warms your chest. It's like ticking off that last item on your to-do list, or finally finding the perfect angle for a selfie after the 10th attempt. You did it. And now, you find yourself pondering the life lived in front of these very fireplaces, where the conversations whispered, or laughter born across these hearths mostly sweet, or spiced with the complexities of hidden tradition. The fireplace provided an anchor, a place around which stories were woven and life unfurled its mysterious, modest charms. Essentially, it was TikTok before TikTok, an endless stream of flickering entertainment. You return the dustpan and brush to their resting places, where they wait patiently for the next call to duty. As you close this chapter on fireplace maintenance, you find a quiet satisfaction settling in, like the low hum of your fridge late at night. Your day is far from over, but you're running on momentum and lukewarm tea, much like the Victorian world that turns around you. So, onward you go. There's always more to do. A fact as predictable as setting 5 alarms and snoozing them all. Only this time with the echo of history's whispers to guide your every move. You shuffle out of the room, soot-streaked but victorious, and navigate the labyrinthine corridors of stately living, each stretch as predictable as your morning commute, but without the luxury of earbuds to drown out the world. Next on your to-do list is laundry day, which descends upon your week like that ominous exam you didn't study for, complete with a stack of linens that seem to multiply when you're not looking. It's a task not unlike updating your resume while lying on the floor. Uncomfortable, yet unavoidably necessary. Laundry in the Victorian era is, to put it mildly, a Herculean undertaking. Forget about the gentle hum of a washing machine or the fluffy aroma of fabric softener. Instead, you brace yourself for an arduous affair involving boiling water, bars of coarse soap, and more scrubbing than any Instagram cleaning reel could capture in a 30-second burst. And just think, this was before spot treatments or bleach pens made laundry day anything less than a full-body workout, like CrossFit for the domestically inclined. Here's a historical tidbit to rinse out your day. Monday was known as washing day, and the near-sacred ritual threaded through every class was as embedded in the cultural fabric as the threads being washed. It was so iconic that many households employed a dedicated washerwoman whose muscles likely rivaled those of a present-day personal trainer. In a world without gym memberships, they were the unsung athletes of the household, proving daily that clean clothes require elbow grease, a reminder akin to making a salad feel like a satisfying meal. Historians still argue about the specifics of washing practices, including exactly how often the more delicate garments were actually cleaned. They puzzle over the frequency, with theories ranging across the board. A bit like debating the proper etiquette for texting back, "Hey, you won't believe this." But some folks back then considered washing baths as decadent luxuries. The horror. Between each dusty, soap-flecked dunk of fabric, the monotony is occasionally broken by the odd hidden secret pocket discovered or a missing button. A quiet whisper of the lives entwined with those threads. Laundry day becomes less about the clothes and more about untold stories. Specks of humanity spun between sheets, dried and billowing like ghosts in the breeze. And sometimes, just when you think you're in over your head, a spontaneous chuckle slips out at the random absurdities found in pockets. Perhaps a forgotten note or a penny. Ever wonder what your own laundry would reveal about your week? A plethora of old receipts. Maybe a stray sock that still evokes debate over its mate. Finding a damp corner in your spirit's cloudy sky, you become oddly entranced by the rhythm of soaking, scrubbing, and hanging the whites and grays. It's like putting together an elaborate side quest in a game where the main mission is never entirely complete. Somehow, it's soothing, a hypnotic rhythm reminiscent of ocean waves or rain tapping gently against the window at night. They say there's a fiber connection between work and wisdom, although wisdom rarely arrives until sometime after the fact. Laundry hanging like faded flags on a line speaks of smuggled freedoms in their small-time sun-dried glory. As you step back and marvel over your hard-won cleanliness, you can't help but appreciate this bizarre, vintage version of productivity, like keeping 27 tabs open just to feel like you've got it all together, while actually unraveling one task at a time. Once the last garment is diligently pinned and flapping smartly in a robust breeze, you pause. Allow yourself a small exhale of victory. You've conquered one laundry mountain, even if its drier cousin awaits, and perhaps, for a fleeting moment, you imagine standing beside a drumline of great historical soap wielders, the champions of clean footing throughout the ages. The day isn't yet through, nor are you. More tasks await, relentlessly stacking like the dirty clothes re-emerging from a rogue wave. With a half-smile lingering on your lips, you step back inside, clicking back into resilience mode. One task down, with many more mysteries bubbling just beneath the surface, waiting as patiently as that never-ending pile of sprouting socks. Back inside, you find yourself swallowed by the grand house's corridors once again. The staircases winding before you, like scenes from an elaborate dream. Ah, yes, those sweeping staircases, the inevitable vertical journey that's both your treadmill and your time machine. Up and down, day in and day out, you navigate these elegant staircases with a grace that only comes from hundreds of repetitions, feeling like an Olympic athlete caught up in an endless relay, only without the applause or gold medals. The staircases, despite their grandeur, aren't exactly forgiving on weary legs. They demand the careful balance and strategic planning of a logistical operation as you maneuver various trays of delicacies, linens, and sometimes whispers of confidential notes too delicate to reveal. Like a balancing act on a tightrope made of etiquette, these staircases see the rhythm of your day carved into the wooden steps. Now, here's something quirky for your long climbs. Some grand homes installed a speaking tube system, a kind of intercom of its time, to communicate across the vast distances of house horticultural hierarchy. Imagine shouting dishes into a less high-tech version of a push-to-talk headset. That's right, you were the original text-to-speech. However, here, It's all in the whispers shared between murmurs and muffled secrets, rather than emojis or slacked-off BRB messages. Historians still puzzle over how these houses, with their upstairs-downstairs split, fostered their unique expressions of kinship. Did the house divide itself into separate realms, or manage to mesh a unique harmony in its worn steps? It's an orderly puzzle, with pieces so delicate, history has yet to capture them fully. And speaking of pieces, consider this. Some houses even had secret doorways hidden in the walls. You won't believe this, but it was like owning a real-life escape room. Only the challenges were ironing and bed making instead of puzzles. As you take to the stairs once more, you can't help but notice how each climb is both an ascension and a descent, into rooms of grandeur and back again into the modesty of the servant quarters. The perspective shifts, like from a drone high above to a player on the field, a constant change of viewpoint, yet never enough to disrupt your determined flow. On particularly tiring days, these staircases become your enemies, as relentless as notifications that won't disappear, demanding steps even when you've run out of them, mentally and physically. Finally reaching the top, you find a moment to pause, leaning into the stillness of the landing. You're slightly winded, but not as much as that time you bike dashed all the way across town to a late brunch with friends. The air up here feels different. And not just because you're technically touching the clouds of society's hierarchical map. It's a range of freshness, mingled with whispers of lavender-polished furniture, a complex bouquet befitting the grand settings. Each finished task leaves a trace of satisfaction, an unseen marker of progress, much like that checklist on your phone that keeps it all together. An array of small, fulfilling victories against the clutter of obligations, as you hurriedly move from room to room, gathering what's needed like a game of collect and conquer. There's an odd joy in mentally tracing your steps, an echo of footsteps past and present, of those who walked them long before you. It's a dance, a silent parade, where each step and each sigh weave their own rhythm into the heart of this towering testament to another era. Journeying down once more, you're fit to burst with stories untold, unheard yet, layered in richness, almost as tactile as the banisters tracing your palm. Each climb marks another chapter, another tale, whispered softly, like an old secret or beloved lullaby that rises and falls with the melody of your day, transforming what might have been mundane into an endless, silent storybook for the tender, unscripted moments that exist in between those solemn climbs. As the rhythm of stair climbing finally wanes, you find yourself navigating to the next chapter of your day, polishing the silver. It's a task that feels almost sacred, like performing a slow and deliberate ritual in this grand, hushed theater of domesticity. Polishing silver is far removed from a quick swipe with a microfiber cloth. It's more like channeling Bob Ross-level patience, converting tarnish into sparkle with the care and devotion of an old artist, bringing a masterpiece to life, one brushstroke at a time. You sit down at a small table in the scullery, surrounded by an array of cutlery and serving pieces that bear the weight of family legacies. It's quiet here, the kind of stillness that you only get in rare moments when the house hushes, akin to the silence of your phone after you've set it on Do Not Disturb, a blissful reprieve punctuated by the soft clinking of silver against silver. And there's something almost therapeutic about the repetitive motion, a gentle meditation in an otherwise hectic day, lulling you like the soft, rhythmic hum of your laptop fan working diligently in the background. Here's a historical tidbit. The Victorians weren't just playing at silver for the sake of appearances. Back in those days, having a sparkling silver service was kind of like flaunting the latest expensive gadget or a brand new pair of sneakers. It signaled status and wealth for all to see. Forget Instagram likes. This was the Victorian version of flexing. Silver was prestige incarnate, shimmering beneath candlelight, a symbol of refinement polished daily by you, the unsung hero of presentation. Historians still argue about the methods used to keep such troves of silver shining bright. While some swore by a concoction of chalk dust and ammonia, others might have used whisks of vinegar or even stale beer as polish. Can you imagine adding stale beer to your cleaning routine? A cleaning TikTok challenge waiting to happen, I'm sure. Now, you won't believe this, but despite their obsession with shiny silver, many Victorians were less interested in the gleam and more invested in the stories. It was the family crests etched into the handles, generations of dinner parties wrapped around the edges of cast utensils. Just like the undying lore of your favorite video game replayed, analyzing every pixel for hidden lore bits, these engravings wove history beyond the table setting and into the tapestry of life itself. Carefully, you traverse alongside myth and metal alike, cajoling dullness back into brilliance. You glance down to find your hands coated with the familiar patina of polish, a visible token of your labor, diligently at work like a phone glued to your palm in a scrolling frenzy. Each stroke resembles the digital caress of a screen, and with each motion, a deep satisfaction blossoms, a bit like finally choosing dark mode after a long, blinding day in harsh light mode. It just feels right. In the process, you realize there's a certain kind of peace in polishing away the tarnish, watching the transformation unfold, akin to the satisfaction of updating an app and finding it loads faster and smoother, fulfilling a promise both implicit and silly. As you finish, you can't help but marvel. Each piece shines with a depth that feels alive, a reflection of your own spirit subtly emerging through the gleam. They catch and play with the light, a silent testament to the hands that shape them as much as to those that polish them. For these moments, you are both the keeper of treasures and the curator of stories untold. With the table laid bare and the polish stowed away, the room falls quiet once more, the world reduced to simply you and the soft patter of imagined applause. Now, it's as if time itself holds a more brilliant sheen, the echo of past and presence in fragile balance, awaiting the next act beyond polished realms. As the silver gleams brightly, echoing your every careful touch, a small gasp of triumph escapes your lips. You rise to face the next trial like a noble knight, purposefully marching into the scullery, where a symphony of kitchen clangs accompanies your steps. The gentle hum of activity is comparable to that ambient white noise you play to drown out distracting thoughts. A subtle soundtrack guiding you through the adventure of food preparation. Dinner is an elaborate production, comparable to putting on a stage play every night. You dive into the melee of meal prep, where recipes seem to span pages like old-school manuscripts. 1 part science experiment, 2 parts imagination, and a dash of desperation. Victorian recipes don't just need a checklist. They seemingly require a degree in alchemy. Tonight, perhaps there's a dish concocted with strangely layered flavors, like aspic, a delicacy encasing meat, or vegetables in gelatin. It's like Jell-O going through a midlife crisis, having a bit of an identity debate about whether it's a dessert or an appetizer. Here's a quirky side note for you. Did you know that Victorians were crazy about mock turtle soup. A mysterious dish made to taste like turtle without the actual turtle, often crafted using a calf's head in its stead. Talk about culinary geometry dash levels of yield. Historians still chew over whether such extravagant dishes were as delicious as tales claimed or merely a complex show to impress dinner guests. It's an old world equivalent of a viral cooking fad that's about the aesthetic more than the actual experience. Avocado toast avant la lettre. The kitchen feels alive, the scent of herbs swirling in the air like a melody. You chop, stir, and taste, all while balancing the mechanics of preparing a banquet with the creative flourish of an artist painting a culinary masterpiece. It's as if you're part of an intense cooking show, minus the cameras and dramatic musical interludes. The steam rises in soft curls, carrying the scent of garlic and roasted dreams. And just like those split-second food snaps that tantalize and tease through your social feed, you play choreographer to each fleeting moment of creation. You won't believe this, but the dining rituals could stretch for hours, course after course delivered with military precision. Aristocracy became akin to food bloggers, showcasing their luxurious spread and boasting a descent into decadence one plate at a time. The complexity was unparalleled, demanding that even the most poised hosts enlist the meticulous, skilled hands of their ever-dutiful staff. The kitchen hums its warming tune, with pots like percussion, counters like marble dance floors. The evening sorcery you concoct gently calls upon nostalgic flavors, broader textures, and savory stories, each bit transmitting more than just nutrients. It transmits legacy. Comparing this to modern mealtime chaos, imagine juggling dinner prep with 15 open tabs on your browser, all demanding attention, none giving full satisfaction, as each dish is served like an unanswered email desperate for response. Finally, as the table is arrayed with the evening's lavish bounty, your fatigue is buoyed by a sense of accomplishment. You're tempted to linger in the warmth of that hard-earned glow, where nothing else holds the same power or beauty as flavors shared. The dinner bell resounds softly. Next shelves of sound among the storied cadence of a day's hard work realized. As plates find hungry hands, the chatter ebbs and flows like tidewaters, sweeping into moments of shared laughter and satiating silence. From within the walls of this ever-bustling hive, you watch over the proceedings, eyes glistening with the warmth of timeless bounty. A secret and silent conductor, making music from the echoes of distant eras. And there it is, a perfect ending to a day spent inside Victorian kitchen coves. You step back, allowing yourself a moment of rest, knowing the push of the day leans towards slumber's embrace, gently cradled amid dreams of legendary dish enchantments and age-old magic. With dinner served and the cacophony of clinking cutlery humming through the house, you steal a brief moment for yourself. There's a peaceful joy in watching others relish the fruits of your labor, much like sharing a meme and reveling in the laughter it sparks. With the sun now dipping beneath the horizon, draping every room in hues of fading amber, you turn silently to the evening duties that await like so many gentle waves yet to wash over the shore. As you move to the bedrooms, preparing each for the arrival of weary dreamers, you slip into a quieter rhythm, a soothing, almost meditative routine. Tonight, you're focused on turning down the beds, which is far more than just folding sheets and fluffing pillows. Picture it as setting the stage, each wrinkle smoothed, each corner crisply tucked, creating small, personalized pockets of sanctuary. The end-of-day tasks may seem trivial, but they're like the comforting glow of your phone in dark mode, simple yet profoundly reassuring. Here's a historical tidbit to ponder as you go about. Victorians were quite particular about their bedding. Feather mattresses were often paired with linen sheets, a combination deemed luxurious and essential for proper rest. Honestly, it sounds like a Victorian precursor to memory foam, all about balancing comfort with support. Historians still argue whether the elaborate nighttime routines were health-driven or simply stepping stones in the daily ritual of maintaining a social facade. It's an open question, much like debating whether cold-pressed juice truly detoxifies or is just an expensive placebo. Now, you won't believe this, but some Victorians believed in airing sheets daily to ward off miasmas, bad air believed to cause disease. It's a bit like turning on an air purifier religiously, ensuring your breathing space is as pristine as your mental hopes. With a quick snap and a flick, the nighttime curtains fall into place, adding the final lush notes to each bedroom serenade. You find yourself lost in the intimacy of these rituals, aware that the mundane simplicity of preparing someone's resting place is anything but trivial. It's the hushed whisper of comfort, equivalent to an all-knowing nod from a friend during a silent movie. There's satisfaction in the smallness of the act, more impactful than 100 words spoken. The night deepens, wrapping around the house like a velvet cloak, and with it, your pace slows, letting the weight of the day slip gently from your shoulders. As you tend to these quiet responsibilities, you think of the beds themselves, soft havens ready to embrace sleep, plush, with the promise of dreams that rise like delicate soufflés, testing the tautness of thought. With tired hands and hearts rendered light, you end the night with a luxury fitting of the Victorian ethos, a simple, heartfelt glance at the roles played and stories woven in each small act of kindness. Much like tucking in an old friend, you finish knowing that in the tapestry of history, it is these acts, this quietude, that imprint the most enduring and genuine kind of grace. Scattering final touches like seeds, you let go into the hush of night, and the realization unfolds. What feels mundane is the heart of legacy, and each touch, each turn of cloth, composes a lullaby that suspends time. As nighttime settles in tender embrace, and time bends softly like a whispered promise, you breathe deeply, inhaling the silence that fills the spaces between whispered goodnights, touching the edges of dreams now taking flight. As the evening deepens and the household drifts into slumber, you find yourself with a rare moment of tranquility. It's that sweet, fleeting silence when the world seems to hold its breath, a quiet that cradles you and lets your own thoughts emerge like stars in a vast, dark sky. The hustle of preparation fades into the background, leaving you with the soft hum of the house settling down for the night, much like that gentle purr of a cat curling up next to you. In this late-night stillness, conversations from earlier echo softly in your mind, like scenes from a favorite book you've read 100 times. There's an intimacy to these moments, a shared rhythm felt but never spoken, like a song heard from a distance that catches you unaware and lingers long after the melody fades. It's the quiet kind of connection that wraps around you like a beloved sweater, cozy and familiar, leaving the air warm with the essence of unwritten chapters sauntering quietly by. Funny enough, the scullery life isn't all work and no play. Each small chore births lines of camaraderie woven through shared jokes and whispered secrets. Think of it as a group chat sans the digital clamor. you'd be surprised how these little exchanges, gossip shared over polishing, bits of news caught between sweeping, create a quiet mosaic of deeper friendship that thrives in the spaces between labor's demands. Victorians knew how to find heart in their laughter and solace in kindred souls, the starters of conversation around the proverbial water cooler. Here's an odd yet interesting tidbit. Back in the Victorian era, there was a tradition among some servants to leave a small hidden token or personal object, something with meaning, like a button or a coin, tucked away within the fabrics or furnishings during their tenure. It was like signing their name in invisible ink across history's fabric, a subtle way of saying, "I was here." It's something akin to carving your initials into a tree, capturing presence in ways fridge pictures capture time. As for historians, they still debate whether these quiet night traditions were moments stolen for oneself or small acts of defiance against the strict formality of the day. It's a discussion, much like any double-edged debate, about work-life balance in the modern hustle. A delicate dance of personal time twirled against duty's loud demands. And like today's perpetual hassle of toggling notifications, it sparked reflection on what truly defines fulfillment. A chuckle escapes as you think of some of these age-old traditions being akin to today's drive for me time amidst chaos. Stowing away small treasures in hidden corners becomes deeply reminiscent of texting on my way. But really, you're still cozy under the covers. The secret joys only the night knows. You won't believe this. Many servants learn to find solace and even joy within the system's margins. Tender acts of rebellion, like taking an extra few minutes of quiet in the pantry. Something perhaps akin to sneaking in an extra episode of a show long after you vowed to go to bed. Each act, though slight, laces life with quiet joys, untangling the strands of routine and allowing flickers of contentment the lightest touch. With the night's veil descending ever deeper, you take your weary steps back to your own corner of the world. A small cot waits, ready to cradle souls drenched in stories and dreams. The weight of the day is soft now, yielding like a down pillow beneath your head. You close your eyes, feeling each breath settle mountains and lift oceans. The quiet echo of history's vigil, like a gentle lullaby, whispering secrets only the night will know. In this piece, you understand that, like craftsmen with threads of patience, you are also weaving a quiet legacy with every moment you hold, recording your own truth into the world's abundant narrative. And so, sleep drapes around you, like a blanket kindly knitted by the hands of time, wrapping you softly within its folds as you release into the embrace of midnight's tender horizon. With the gentle embrace of midnight wrapping around you, the house slips into that deep, restful hush where even the walls seem to dream. This is the quietest hour, where every sound is intimate, every footstep soft as a whisper on freshly fallen snow. You move through these final rituals with the grace of someone who has spent many a night perfecting the art of goodbye to another day. There's a calming repetition in these last tasks of the night, like writing in a journal. Each entry a reflection of the small victories, the challenges overcome, and the laughter shared. As you snuff out the remaining candles, there's a flicker of contentment. Each extinguished flame is a gentle nod to the warmth it shared, much like the soft goodbye at the end of a heartfelt phone call. Tonight, your mind drifts to the unwritten rules that guide every aspect of servant life. The nuances of etiquette, a dance you navigate with the same finesse as skimming through social media in the early hours, hoping to catch a spark of connection without getting lost in the scroll. It's a world of unspoken agreements and countless curtsies, where even silence is layered with meaning. Here's a historical morsel. Victorian etiquette dictated such precise behavior that mistakes could ripple through one's reputation like a stone thrown into a still lake. They had manuals for this sort of thing, kind of like Victorian instruction guides for humans. Imagine consulting a handbook just to know how to slightly nod during introductions. It's like checking YouTube on how to adult when you're just trying to figure out what to say during small talk. Historians still mull over the extent to which this strict adherence to social norms genuinely defined the era, or if it was all just an elaborate performance, a Victorian take on the perfectly curated Instagram feed, public facades polished to a sheen that didn't always reveal the truth beneath. You won't believe this, but there were even manuals dedicated to the art of using fans as a tool for flirting. Each flutter carefully staged to convey emotion, much like crafting the perfect sarcastic tweet. With these thoughts weaving quietly through the cool night air, you pause, letting the silence guide your reflections. There's a charm to the unsaid things, an allure in what's left unspoken in the quiet choreography of domestic life. In a way, this silence is its own language, a frequency barely audible yet thunderously clear between those who know how to listen. A light chuckle emerges as you remember tales of servants using faint creaks of wooden floors as signals. This old house like an ancient phone system without the need for wires. It's the kind of ingenuity that typifies the quiet rebellions across time, witty and unyielding against the tide of expectation. Wrapping up your evening's duties, you think about the day's hidden narratives, those small acts of rebellion that slip through cracks unnoticed, yet empowering. The joy of sneaking an extra moment to soak in rest, or exchanging whispers in the servants' quarters, like conspirators plotting a cheeky coup, each a nod to claiming space within prescribed roles. You place your hand on the familiar banister, feeling the cool wood against your palm, a silent witness to countless stories and lives. As you head towards your own resting place, a soft glow of satisfaction warms you, similar to the feeling of lining up that perfect reply in a group chat, navigating humor and heart with equal dexterity. At last, with the weight of the day gently dissipating, you prepare for sleep. Your room is modest, yet there's a coziness that embraces you, flooded with the comforting familiarity of mismatched pajamas and well-loved quilts. You settle into bed, feeling the whisper-soft promise of dreams starting to unfurl, shrouding you in boundless wonders far removed from reality's tether. Breathing deeply, you drift further into the night's embrace, and far above you, the stars lend their gentle shimmer, like distant candles across the velvet sky, illuminating dreams that meander softly through your mind, guiding you deeper into the profound, quiet whisper of night. In these tender moments, before sleep claims you, the past, present, and future seem to intersect briefly, creating a tapestry woven from threads of memory, duty, and hope. A quiet legacy, solid yet ethereal, waiting patiently to be embraced by tomorrow's dawn. The night stretches on, a tapestry woven with the hushed symphony of gentle snores and the occasional creak of distant floorboards. As you sink further into your pillow, you can almost feel the house itself breathing, each quiet exhalation of timber and stone wrapping you snugly in its embrace. It's as if the very walls are whispering lullabies of days long past, letting the echoes of footfalls and laughter lull you into a serene drift. Tonight, your dreams hover around the idea of small, personal victories, those clandestine acts of rebellion and quiet triumphs that pepper the servant's day. Much like the satisfaction of binge-watching your favorite show under a pile of soft blankets, knowing that for a brief moment, the world and its demands are held at bay. As sleep gently tugs at the edges of your consciousness, you think of those small acts of defiance. A chocolate sneaked from the pantry, an extra few moments stolen under the sun's gentle warmth, a sock turned slightly inside out in a light-hearted middle finger to the rigid order. It's the shared smiles over kitchen blunders or hushed conspiracies forged within scullery walls, detailing escapades past and future with the clandestine flair of a secret society within a very public theater. Here's an open question historians still tackle. Was this inner world of servants a parallel universe dictated by a unique culture of resilience, or simply an evolutionary necessity born from the constraints of their environment? It's a debate that finds its echoes in today's dialogue on modern work dynamics, questioning work environments, debating balance yet again. Unbelievably, hidden beneath the layers of routine, such stories often included daring escapes into town or clandestine rendezvous captured only later in fragrant letters swapped under the table or dusty attic alcoves. It's akin to sending a secretive emoji in a busy chat, understood by those who share its secret meaning. And, in an endearing fit of humor, consider this quirky note. There was once a trend among some maidservants to play act at being their mistresses during their free time, dressing up in finery when the household was away, a timeless performance where the boundaries of role briefly dissolved into flights of imagination. It's a little like borrowing a friend's fancy outfit to try on moments of grandeur and letting go, swapping lives, even if just for an evening. Historians have yet to fully decode these shadow lives, these rich, unwritten narratives spun in the margin of history's grand stage, where servants became protagonists in an invisible opera, their everyday choices imbuing the world with unspoken charm. These stories, though hidden, live on, akin to the unsent messages saved in a draft folder, quietly holding potential. As your mind drifts gently further into the night, you find yourself reflecting upon your day, neatly packed like a series of cherished memories stored safe for another tomorrow. With each slowing breath, dreams begin to unfurl, like pages in a beloved book. Each chapter more soothing than the last, pages whisper-bound with the voices of those who came before. And with the house settled into the gentlest of states, you find yourself moving through dreams that feel like secret gardens, a quiet pattern played out among the stars. In these moments, silence enfolds you like a cocoon, an invitation to venture where imagination is given free rein under the soft moon's watchful gaze. In this way, a peace settles over you, soft and profound, wrapping you in a blanket of mellow twilight, and the hush of the world growing stiller, softer. The cadence of dreams captures you, floating tenderly on an ocean of possibilities where sleep drapes itself like a trusted guide, cozy and endless, propelling you into a night of restful journeys understood only by those who let the quiet guide the stories yet told. And so, the night continues its whispered lullaby, a tender promise that embraces resilience, weaving comfort through its tapestry, letting the world carry on, watched over by dreamers nestled deeply into the serene echo of history's song. As you float through the gentle waves of sleep, the night unfurls like a soft velvet tapestry, weaving together threads of dreams and the quiet promises of dawn yet to come. The house sleeps beside you, a serene giant wrapped in the soothing hush of night, cradling its stories within the tender embrace of darkness. In these deep hours, when even the stars seem to pause and catch their breath, your mind dances through the echoes of a day well lived. Images flicker like ancient lantern shadows, painting pictures of laughter shared over mundane tasks, of silver polished to a high shine, of staircases conquered in graceful strides, each memory a delicate brushstroke on the canvas of history. The soft cadence of nightly rituals resounds like a lullaby, wrapping you in its comforting refrain. The night is heavy with the scent of dreams, and you wear them like a familiar cloak, woven with whispers of resilience and quiet acts of defiance. It's as if the very air is speaking in gentle tones, whispering the secrets of those who've walked these paths before, each tale etched into the woodwork of time. In this sacred silence, you find yourself pondering the great mystery of it all, life's intricate dance, the unwritten rules of a bygone era, the untold stories resting beneath the surface. Historians may argue over the details, but in the quiet of the night, you understand that it's the unspoken moments that say the most. It's the gentle pauses between words, the warmth of a shared glance, the comfort found in routine's embrace. You won't believe this, but there were tales of servants stealing away to secret nooks within the house, crafting little refuges out of forgotten spaces, attic corners draped in dust, cellar alcoves rich with the scent of earth. In these hidden retreats, they dreamed of futures bright with possibility, weaving fantasies from the threads of their reality, a testament to the spirit's unyielding desire for freedom and change. Perhaps, in these quiet hours, you dream alongside them, stepping into their shoes, understanding their quiet courage and unspoken hopes. And maybe, just maybe, you carry a piece of them forward, a whispered memory folded into your own dreams. As the night stretches on, holding its breath before the dawn, you are gently cradled by a sense of belonging. You may not have seen all the world or taken grand journeys, but within the confines of this house, you've explored the depths of the human spirit, touched the edges of history, and made your own mark on its ever-expanding tapestry. With each breath, the night lightens, the edges of dreams dissolving into the gentle glow of morning's first light. The world begins to stir, tentatively at first, like a child waking from slumber, ready to embrace the promise of a new day. In these final moments, before waking, you find peace in the realization that you've been part of something greater than yourself, a continuum of life, love, and resilience, stretching back through time and forward into the endless horizon of possibility. And as your eyes flutter open, gradually waking to the gentle embrace of dawn, you feel the night's whispered song still echoing in your heart, a precious melody resonating through every fiber of your being, promising a day filled with hope, discovery, and the quiet joy of simply being. The night releases its hold gently, like a parent letting go of a young child's hand, with tenderness and the unwavering promise of return. You carry the dreams with you as daylight beckons you forth into the tapestry of a new day, ready to weave your stories into its quiet, unfolding mysteries. As the first light of dawn slowly spills across the room, you awaken to the soft touch of a new morning. It feels as if the sun itself is welcoming you with a gentle caress, urging you to rise and greet the day. The warmth seeps into your bones, chasing away the chill of the night, leaving you cocooned in a sense of calm and renewal. The peaceful morning stretches out before you like a blank canvas, ready to be painted with the hues of possibility and purpose. The familiar sounds of the house stirring into life filter through the stillness, each rustle and creak a promise of stories yet to be told and tasks ready to be embraced. It's a new day in the life of a servant, one filled with both challenges and small moments of triumph. Yet, within the rhythm of routine, you know there will be unexpected joys. The camaraderie shared over breakfast preparations, the laughter that bubbles up unexpectedly during a mundane chore, the satisfaction of tasks completed with diligence and care. In these early hours, your mind drifts back to the unsung narratives woven through the fabric of the past, the muted whispers of friendship forged in the scullery, the rebellious spirit of those who dared to dream beyond their roles, and the small tokens left behind as elegant reminders of lives lived. Each memory feels like a reassuring hand, gently guiding you forward, reminding you that you are part of a lineage, a continuum of grace and resilience. As you prepare to step into the day, the weight of history rests lightly upon your shoulders, not as a burden, but as a comforting mantle, a reminder that every action, no matter how small, contributes to the overarching story of humanity. The simple rituals of morning become a dance, a familiar choreography that tethers you to both the past and the future, each step a promise made anew. Historians still engage in lively debates about the true nature of servant life in the Victorian era, pondering whether it was more burden or blessing, a dance of symbiotic relationships or one-sided servitude. But as the sun's early glow spills through the windows, painting patterns on the worn wooden floor, you understand that, above all, it was a life lived fully, even in shadow. The quirky traditions and imaginative rebellions of servants past remind you that even within rigid roles, there is room for individuality and expression, spaces for light to filter through cracks and make its presence felt. It is a universal truth, mirrored in the present day, where everyone seeks those moments of personal joy amidst the noise of daily obligation. With a deep breath, you face the new day, carrying with you the quiet legacy of those who came before. Your heart swells with anticipation for the stories yet to unfold. Each shift of broom, each polished shoe, each whispered conversation, weaving a delicate thread into the vibrant tapestry of life. As the house awakens fully, casting off the remnants of night like a loved sweater, you dive into your duties with a sense of purpose. The day stretches before you, filled with possibility and the promise of connection, a testament to the simple, sacred art of living. The morning light continues to grow, spilling across the breakfast table like liquid gold as the household springs to life. Within these walls, amidst the tasks that await, you find substance, beauty, and meaning. A life rich with untapped wonder, patiently awaiting discovery. Your footsteps echo softly throughout the halls, each step imbued with the gentle assurance that you are where you belong, ready to weave another day of dreams and details into the enduring tapestry of your own making. The threads of time stretch infinitely in both directions. Yesterday's memories interwoven with tomorrow's hopes, bound by the everlasting rhythm of a single perfect moment. The morning hums to life, a delicate orchestra of routine, the clatter of cookware, the gentle swish of brooms over wooden floors, and the harmonized chatter in quiet corners. You move with the familiarity of someone who knows the hidden dance of the day, steps memorized, not in haste, but with a grace earned through repetition. Your hands find their rhythm in preparing breakfast. It isn't just a meal. It's a symphony of ingredients coming together, like a well-practiced ensemble that requires no conductor but the passage of time. Each slice, stir, and sprinkle is an ode to necessity, a daily celebration of sustenance. The aroma of fresh bread mingles with the scent of sizzling bacon, wrapping the space with a cozy, comforting blanket, much like your favorite oversized hoodie on a chilly day. There's a quirky ritual to breakfast in a Victorian household. Each boiled egg neatly lined up, teacups arranged with almost military precision, toast cut into perfect triangles, because even simplicity demands elegance. It's a gentle reminder that every detail counts. Each task an expression of care stitched into life's elaborate tapestry. Here's a historical nugget to season your morning. In some grand homes, breakfast menus changed every day, reflecting the season's bounty and the household's social ambitions. It's like having calendar events molded by the dish du jour, a culinary flexibility that ensured guests never experienced the same breakfast twice, much like never repeating a meme in the fast-moving world of social media. Historians still debate whether the formality and grandeur of such meals were a symptom of hospitality or an artful performance aimed to impress peers. A spectacle wrapped in the mundane cloth of morning meal traditions. Even today, invitations to those ornate breakfasts would spark curiosity. A social media invite with potential for endless scroll-worthy snapshots. You won't believe this, but amidst the hustle, servants often found scraps of quiet joy in stolen mouthfuls and secret smiles shared away from the glare of formality. It was a delicate act of rebellion, a toast raised in silent defiance as much as it was in celebration, kindling the spirit of those who balance life's demands with personal grace. The morning meal accomplished, you step back, savoring a moment of gratitude for the small miracles of the day, the simple elegance of a well-brewed cup of tea, the gentle laughter among friends, the tapestry of lives interwoven with threads of kindness. As you imagine the lives of those who gather around the table, masters and guests, each bearing the silent burden of their own stories, you realize the unity in shared sustenance, in mutual humanity. The table, though grand, is ultimately a symbol of togetherness, a place where differences melt away, much like sugar dissolving in boiling water. With breakfast complete, you pause, taking stock of the day's winding road yet to be traveled. Your heart feels light, buoyed by the shared laughter and warmth of camaraderie. A reassurance that amidst the intricate dance of history, there's a purity in connection, an unspoken understanding that transcends roles and titles. The morning continues to unfurl, petals opening to the sun. Chores await, conversations brew like the fragrant tea, and the promise of the day stretches in all directions, infinitely bright. You move forward, your steps imbued with a lightness born from inner peace, ready to embrace the mysteries that the hours will surely unfold. And so, with a heart filled with gratitude, you slip into the day, ready to add your own unique stitch to the tapestry of time. As the warmth of the morning sun spills across the earth, you find peace in the journey, knowing that the threads you weave, however small, contribute to the ever-unfolding narrative of life, one woven squarely within the boundlessly expansive embrace of each passing moment. The day progresses with a fluid ease, like a stream meandering its way through a wooded glen. effortlessly embracing each twist and turn. You find rhythm in the chores ahead, moving through them with a practiced grace that the servants of old would nod in recognition to. Each task, though part of the eternal cycle, holds the potential for moments of introspection and unexpected delight. There's a comfort in the familiar, polishing surfaces until they gleam like mirrors, sorting linens with the expert precision of a librarian shelving books. Each action an expression of care and dedication to both the household and to yourself. It's funny how such involvement, while repetitive, becomes meditative. Your mind relaxes, thoughts wandering like a leaf caught in a gentle breeze. Here's a peculiar tidbit. In the Victorian household, keeping house was an elaborate dance, with steps as precise as any court ballet. A proper servant's conduct was as important as the task at hand. Sweeping floors became sweeping gestures. Polishing wasn't just about removing tarnish, but revealing unseen brilliance. It was mindfulness in its truest form, a custodian of detail and dignity. Historians still rave about the significance of the servant's role in the shape-shifting dynamics of Victorian social life. Were they simply the backbone of the household machinery, maintaining the gears of daily life, or were they the invisible architects, silently crafting the very foundation upon which society leaned? It's a debate akin to exploring the unseen algorithms behind our digital interactions today, hidden yet pivotal. You won't believe this, but inventiveness flourished in these servant communities, sharing techniques and shortcuts, turning their knowledge into a commonwealth of secret tricks, a kind of life hack exchange long before the internet brought endless tips to your fingertips. Little did they know, they were pioneers of innovation through necessity. The afternoon sun cascades through the windows, casting pale golden rectangles upon the floor. Drifting dust motes dance in the gentle light, adding a touch of ethereal beauty to an otherwise ordinary scene. It's a moment of ephemeral wonder, the kind that makes you pause, breathe deeply, and appreciate the quiet ballet of time as it tiptoes through a room. In these quiet intervals, your thoughts return to the stories embedded in the walls of the house, tales of joy and sorrow, triumph and defeat, each one a thread in a complex tapestry that only reveals its full richness upon reflection. Much like moving through an old photo album, each image stirring up forgotten memories, the walls bear witness to lives lived vividly, even within the constraints of predictability. As the work ebbs and flows, you're reminded of the balance between duty and self-care. Those long ago servants knew this truth deeply, crafting small moments of respite in gardens or by windowsills, where they could sit quietly, enjoying nature's caress as the world spun past. Today's equivalent might be a quick coffee run, or 5 minutes with a favorite podcast. The essence perseveres, honoring the spectrum of care within the cycle of labor. Amidst these reflections, you find yourself smiling at one quirky tradition. On rare, festive evenings, some staff would swap roles in a brief, joyful rebellion, a theater of sorts, where everyone played the part of another, if only until the clock's toll returned life to normal. It's a blossoming act of empathy and laughter, akin to today's meme challenges, where for a moment, everyone steps outside their ordinary, embraced by the extraordinary. With tasks weaving seamlessly, one into another, the afternoon gently unfurls its final chapters, breathing slowly, like the pages of a well-loved book nearing its end. As daylight wanes, the shadows lengthen, casting their soft, embracing wings over the house, cradling it in the promise of evening's approach. You exhale, feeling the weight of the day slide off your shoulders like an old coat, embracing the calm that comes with the transition. The moments left are fewer, each blossoming with the promise of twilight's gentle descent, yet leaves room for a sigh. Content, poised between echoes of the past and the promise of dreams. The house hums a soft lullaby, a gentle reminder that every end sparkles with the whisper of new beginnings, mirrored ever brightly beneath a watchful, star-strewn sky. As the sun begins its descent, painting the sky in shades of lavender and rose, the day enters its final act. There's a subtle shift in the air, a gentle winding down that feels as though the house itself is exhaling with you. The tempo slows, like a song fading into silence, bringing a sense of calm that wraps around you like a favorite quilt on a chilly evening. You take a moment to pause, leaning against a familiar windowsill, allowing yourself the luxury of reflection as the world outside gradually blends into the soft blur of dusk. The garden, with its intricate maze of hedges and blooms, looks almost like a painting, each leaf and flower catching the fading light as if illuminated by an artist's brushstroke. Victorian life, with all its rigid structure, still allowed for these moments of quiet beauty, tiny pockets of time where one could simply be. Here, at the close of the day, you find a kind of peace that resonates deeply, like the comforting hum of your laptop fan in a silent room, or the soft glow of fairy lights strung across a window. It's the kind of peace that feels earned and deserved, whispering softly of contentment. Here's a curious historical fact. During this time of day, some servants had the chance to work in the garden, planting and tending with a care that mirrored their indoor duties. It was a labor of love, yet different, a green world of possibilities where the fruits of one's labor bloomed brightly for all to see. It was a simple yet profound joy, far removed from the anvils of duty, an escape into the authenticity of nature. And isn't it just like a gentle, ongoing conversation? Historians still explore whether such duties were an agricultural necessity or embraced as a therapeutic escape from indoor rigors. After all, each flower planted is a message of hope and growth, a quiet rebellion against transience, an eternal promise that nature's rhythm remains unbroken. You won't believe this, but amid the rigidity of household schedules, pauses like this, spaces between time, held a world of discovery, shared stories from the day, laughter over minor follies, even philosophical debates over life's mysteries often bloomed in these twilight hours. Like hearts gathered around a modern campfire of shared existence, each moment of levity was a step closer to enduring unity, crafted effortlessly among peers. In this glow of pending night, you reflect on these moments of connection, thinking of the bonds formed over shared experiences, moments when the line between master and servant blurred briefly under the blanket of starlit skies. Freedom woven even within the soft fabric of routine. It serves as a reminder that the propensity for connection and communal purpose transcends all time. An ongoing, heartfelt dialogue that breathes life into places made sacred by experience. The day winds to a close, its intricate dance performed with a gracious nod to those who inextricably stitched moments into memory, tethering history and reality. Beloved souls who handed tales with fervor, just like kindred spirits walking the paths of a long-lost garden. It weaves the present tapestry, crafted with threads luminous with knowledge born from ages past. As you prepare to rest, the evening's promise stretches before you like a starlit promise. Sleep beckons kindly, an invitation wrapped in quiet, tender moments, letting threads of dreams entwine and hold true as the world falls gently under night's enchanting embrace. With a final deep breath, you bid farewell to the day and embrace the velvety night ahead. The stories captured within your life resonate like an old vinyl, softly spinning its eternal melody into the night. The house stands vigil, nestled quietly beneath a canopy of twinkling stars, waiting patiently for the dawn to paint memories anew. A gentle reminder that within history's silent shadow, each new day holds an ever-unfolding promise of light, life, and boundless possibility.